Okay, so before we get into this review, I just want to give a little public service announcement. Look, if you are going to go on Twitter and dig for a tweet from 3 years ago that for whatever reason from a verified account about films decided to spoil a movie that was coming out 3 years afterwards, if you yourself are going to dig for a tweet like that, please don't quote tweet it or share it and spoil it for everyone else. That's just, what are we doing here? And on top of that, it sucks even worse because it came from an account that actually reviews films. So it's like, you knew you violated the code, bro. You a big violator of that one. You review films and you spoiled it for everybody else. You violated the code. But honestly, on the other side of things, I don't understand how a verified account ended up spoiling the plot to a movie 3 years later anyway, but they did. And did it affect my viewership of this movie? Kinda, sorta, but the principle still stands. Please don't spoil movies for others, especially on social media. We already have enough leaks and photos coming out of sets months before the movie even comes out. We already have enough spoilers. Please don't just add to the chaos. That's why we probably do need more spies in this world to save us from, honestly, yeah, we should have like a personal set of like an agency of spies that prevents movie spoilers from coming out for people, and for people that actually do end up spoiling movies for people, we should have them jailed. That'd be nice. This is Argylle. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Argylle, starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Henry Cavill, Bryan Cranston, and was directed by Matthew Vaughn. And our story follows a best-selling author by the name of Ellie Conway, who writes these series of spy books called Argylle. And essentially what happens is, after she is in the process of writing her next book, and trying to finish her next chapter, she is realizing that her stories are actually more related to real life than she thought, and she actually begins to be brought into the stories that she's writing. She actually is being brought into the world that those stories are revolved around, and essentially what happens is a bunch of assassins and different spies are trying to kill her. Sam Rockwell's trying to save her, and then they have to figure out who the real Agent Argylle is, who, as I said in my intro, I was spoiled who the real Agent Argylle was before I got into the damn theater, but I'm over it, I guess. And to be honest, as I get into my review, I can honestly say that I probably would have predicted who the real Agent Argylle was anyway before they revealed it in the movie, because I don't think they really did a good job of trying to hide who it was. Personally, I felt like I was watching the movie from a whole different perspective from everybody else because I already knew who Agent Argylle was. And the way that they were presenting things in the film, I was like, maybe they really didn't want to hide who Agent Argylle was, because it's pretty freaking obvious if you pay attention to the very point blank dialogue in the film. But look, this movie has been getting a lot of crap. It was definitely one that I was most definitely looking forward to because I love Matthew Vaughn. Kingsman, big fan of those movies. Well, I'm a big fan of the first one. The second one's cool. I'm still a fan of like the statesman part of things, but Pedro Pascal is kind of, I don't know, the plot of Kingsman Golden Circle is kind of all over the place, but they have fun moments in that film too. I wasn't the biggest fan of Pedro Pascal's character, and then of course you have X-Men First Class, so Matthew Vaughn definitely has some hits, but this movie was not getting good buzz whatsoever, and so I was kind of skeptical going into this thing. And look, I'll say this movie is definitely not without its flaws. This movie definitely has a lot of issues to where if you did not like it whatsoever and if you were just thoroughly disappointed by it, I could understand that. But for me personally, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I had fun, man. There are fun moments to be had in this movie. So look, I'm basically gonna start with what I'm kind of trying to figure out how to do this here, because I feel like once I start talking about what I didn't like about the movie, it's going to sound like I really didn't enjoy myself, but I did. But I'm going to talk about what I liked about the movie first and foremost. So like I said, this movie has a lot of fun moments throughout it, and honestly, a lot of it has to do with the fact that the actors are having fun in this movie. Sam Rockwell is having a blast playing this character. I'm having a blast watching him, and I love Sam Rockwell throughout the film. I liked Bryce Dallas Howard more in the second half of this movie than the first. The first half, I was kind of very turned off by her character, but she definitely started to win me over in the second half of the film. Bryan Cranston is having a blast. Catherine O'Hara is in this movie. She's having a blast. I loved watching them in this film. Honestly, it's very... I think it's very contagious when you can tell that actors are having fun on screen, and so that's giving you the opportunity to have a little fun. I feel like this was an opportunity for these actors to do the most silly, spoofy thing possible with the spy genre, and that's all that this movie is, truly. It's a spoof of many different spy movies. It's honestly one that they are able to dress up in many different ways, and they're able to just act all over the place, man. You know, there's a lot of double crossing going on, and you can tell that a lot of people are having fun with this movie, or you can tell that a lot of the actors are having fun with this movie, and that is what's making me have fun. Now, I'll say this, the action sequences, they are hit or miss in the film for me personally, because what they do in the film is there are moments where Bryce Dallas Howard's character is hallucinating between reality and her fictional books, and she's going back and forth. Like, she'll be watching Sam Rockwell's character kick some ass, but then she'll blink and Henry Cavill pops up in his place and starts doing the same things that Sam Rockwell was doing. I was not the biggest fan of the way those scenes were shot, just because the things that Henry Cavill was doing, I felt like would have been a lot, like when the things Henry Cavill was doing when he showed up in Bryce Dallas Howard's point of view, I felt like would have been a lot funnier watching like Sam Rockwell do. Like, Sam Rockwell was doing a tremendous job, and I wanted to see Sam Rockwell finish out these action sequences, not necessarily Henry Cavill. The parts that I did like Henry Cavill for was when she was really trying to piece everything together, and she sees a lot of, you know, what's going on in her life through Henry Cavill's character, or that's like the pivotal connection between, you know, her world and the real world, or her fake world and the real world, however you want to put that. But I was not necessarily a big fan of how, like, the back and forth between Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill and the action sequences were happening. Wasn't a big fan of that, but I'll say this, in the second half of this movie, there are some fun action sequences, one involving ice skating on oil. Yes, you heard me, ice skating on oil, and it's pretty badass. Don't know how they did it, but I enjoyed the hell out of that. I thought there was a lot of fun action sequences towards the end of this movie. Like I said, Bryce Dallas Howard does a great job in the back half of this film. I truly did enjoy Henry Cavill's character, like I said, really just for the narrative purposes. Like, the action sequences, I get it, you have Henry Cavill, so you can't necessarily let him go to waste as far as the action goes, but he did a lot of action in the beginning of the film. It's just when Sam Rockwell showed up, I would have rather just watched Sam Rockwell, or I would have rather them make more sense of however they wanted to go back and forth between the two characters, but it is what it is. Now, look, while I do say this movie does have a lot of fun moments, I will also say this movie is not without its flaws. Like, there are a lot of issues with this movie. First and foremost, it's way too long. The movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and that is way too long. This movie easily could have been cut 25 to 30 minutes shorter, and I feel like you would have gotten a lot more out of it. Two, the plot is all over the place. Now, that is just due to the fact that the movie is too long and it drags this plot out, and it really doesn't necessarily know what it wants to do, where it wants to go, how it wants to end. It's trying to do a lot of things just to fill up this runtime, and truly the movie didn't need to be as long as it did. Like I said, cut 25 to 30 minutes shorter and you probably got a much tighter knit plot movie that you could have had more fun with. And the other issues with this movie is, like I said, the movie was spoiled for me. Like, I already knew who the real Agent Argylle was by the time, you know, I walked into this theater, but I truly sat there, and I don't think they really... I think the movie's pretty predictable as well. I think it's very obvious what's going on. Like, if you really pay attention to what characters are saying and how the movie is adding up, I think it's very predictable who Agent Argylle is and how this movie is supposed to play out, or what the heck is going on. But it does make for a good time. like in some instances. Like I said, if you truly walked out of this movie and you didn't like what was going on whatsoever, like one of my friends did not like the movie whatsoever. He hated it, and I don't blame him. I could definitely see why, but I thought there were definitely some redeemable moments in this film. One in particular had my jaw on the floor. I was in awe because I thought it was really freaking cool, and I thought Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell's chemistry really started building up as the film progressed, and I was really enjoying their dynamic. Sam Jackson literally got paid to watch a Lakers game in this film. I lie to you not. He literally got paid to say some lines and watch a Lakers game and scream and yell his head off. But it was, like I said, he was having fun. It was as if Sam Jackson was in a completely different movie, because his reaction to, you know, what was going on in the movie itself. The plot to me never got that intense to the point where he should have been screaming and shouting like that, but it is what it is. It kind of took me out of the movie a little bit, but like I said, I'm watching these actors and actresses have fun with this, so I can't help but have a little fun with it myself. Like, at least they're having a good time in a pretty poorly written movie. Like, it truly is all over the place. And another thing that I have a big issue with this film is the post-credit scene. This is honestly, I don't want to say it's in the Morbius tier of bad post-credit scenes, but it's pretty close. It's one that, you understand the reference and where they're going, or you understand where it's coming from, but it just, the post-credit scene really makes no sense whatsoever. I can't necessarily get into what it is, and yes, there is a post-credit scene, but it just, I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure what they were trying to allude to with that one. I don't even know if anybody was really necessarily excited for what the post-credit scene was trying to reveal, because truly, by the time the movie's over, you're just like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to go, because like I said, it is truly just way too long. The movie did not need to be as long as it did. It truly got dragged out after a while. I did enjoy Ariana DeBose's character. I did enjoy John Cena. Ariana DeBose and John Cena aren't really in the movie as much, though, and I mean, honestly, we only ever got one trailer from this movie, and literally that trailer was set to only show the first 25 minutes of the movie, which it does in a majority. It does show some stuff from, you know, the back half of the movie too, but mainly it only focuses on the first 25 minutes. And, you know, you're honestly shown, once you watch the movie, it's shown that, yeah, these characters aren't really in the movie as much as you thought they were going to be, or at least they don't play the roles that we really thought they were going to play, or, you know, however that goes. But, I mean, all in all, like, would I ever watch this movie again? Probably not. I think one time, I think once is good enough, but it was fun enough for me to actually come out the theater and not hate it. Like, I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was supremely average. I think it's safe to say that this movie for me was supremely average. Did I want more from it? Absolutely, because it's Matthew Vaughn. Now, here's the other thing. The violence and the action in the film, I felt like at times it definitely could have benefited from a rated R rating, because the things that Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard would talk about doing to people, as far as like crushing skulls and doing some crazy badass shit, I think it could have benefited from a rated R rating, because that would have been a lot cooler to see in, you know, rated R form. But at the same time, the movie is very silly, and it kind of fits the PG-13 tone in a sense. It's like sometimes it's like the action sequences. There are times where like I said, the action sequences are very hit or miss. It's like when they miss, you feel like they could have benefited from a rated R standpoint at that point. When they hit, it's like, okay, I can understand like why we kept it PG-13 here. It's just kind of a back and forth with that. But I felt like at times the movie could have benefited from a rated R rating. Another thing was, there was this one moment in the film where Bryan Cranston did this thing with a shotgun that was pretty damn badass. Like I said, these actors are having truly a lot of fun playing these characters, and I can't help but, you know, be affected by that. Like, it's really fun to see people having fun on screen. One last thing I will say, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned her because she's fucking incredible. Dua Lipa, she's great. I love Dua Lipa. She's amazing. I don't want to sit up here and blush and, you know, gush over her the entire time, but she's awesome. I love Dua Lipa. But look, overall, guys, look, Argylle is not the Matthew Vaughn film we were really wanting. It was probably, I'd say, in the Kingsman Golden Circle-esque tier of disappointments. Because for me, Kingsman: The Golden Circle was kind of a disappointment. The Kingsmen, which I don't think was directed by Matthew Vaughn, is a bit better, but it's just overall this movie could have been a lot better had it not been so long, had it been written much better, had they actually took the time to try to not make it as predictable as it was. I'm not even gonna, I lie to you not. In the beginning of this film, when she's at a book signing, one character stands up and it's so blatantly obvious he's one of the villains because he has a thick accent. He has a matching shirt with like 4 other people in the crowd. I'm like, y'all aren't even trying to hide the fact that this guy's evil. Ain't no guy with this thick of an accent going to a book signing. And like, come on now, what are we doing there? But look, overall, it has some redeemable moments. It has some fun moments. It has moments in the film where I'm having fun with the actors, but then it has its moments where it's just like, can we please wrap this shit up? And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Argylle a 2.75 out of 5 stars. Okay, guys, so Argylle, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Look, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Like, I just really wanted to be able to say thank you guys so much for the really nice comments that you guys send. Even if you send some mean comments, thank you for those too, because I mean, I don't really get a lot of mean comments, but, you know, just the criticism, criticism comments, the comments that have some nice criticism in them, or, you know, hard criticisms. But look, regardless, I'm just thankful for all the comments and the interactions that you guys do with my channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Look, be sure to comment down below your thoughts on the film. Be sure to comment your thoughts down. If you've seen the movie, please comment on that post-credit scene and let me know your reaction to it, because it was just not, it just wasn't it for me. But look, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. Look, thank you guys for watching. This is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.